So, you want to own a campground. This is episode 15. It's about water on the main phase of the campground and showing some pictures of things. No video really, just me talking and some slides, but hopefully you'll get the picture. Thanks for watching again. I try to do voiceover of this, and for some reason I couldn't get to work on my iMovie. I may have to get an external mic or something and try to see how to make that happen. But anyway, you guys have learned by now that I'm not good at what I'm doing as far as making these movies. If you're looking at for the cinematic qualities, you're going to the wrong place anyway. In our main campground, this is what the previous owner had done, and it works. These are, irrigation valve boxes. They're probably like, 10 inches in diameter. So this is what the lid, looks like. And these things are set in the ground, and the water is underneath these. So, in the winter, we can cover them up and insulate them, that kind of thing, if nobody's using them. I'm going to show some different pictures of, because they're not all the same on the inside. There's different options. First, we'll look at this the rest of the way. So we'll see what happens with this first one. Okay, this is one of the multiple options of connections I have in the main campground. Now, this is a spigot that is threaded onto a piece of PVC with Teflon tape, and it's just an on-off, shut-off. So it's a 45-degree turn. That handle, you lift it straight up, the water flows, put it to the side, it stops. Now the problem with these, if you can see, is that, here, let me get my little handy-dandy pointer. These handles rust. And over a period of time, I don't know how long it's gonna take, they will end up rusting off. And then what are you gonna do? So I've been replacing some of these as they get bad. This one's probably getting close to being due, just so I won't have a problem. Somebody shows up at 8 o'clock at night and the handle breaks, kind of thing. So that's a negative about these. The ball valve is not too bad unless it gets really, really cold. Sometimes they will, when it's off, so when it's on, the ball valve, the hole is straight up towards the nozzle. But when it's off, it's side to side. And if it's cold enough, they'll pop out the side. Now, it doesn't make the water leak. It still works. When it's off, it's off, and when it's on. But in between, you're squirting water out the side, and it's just something you don't want to have a problem with. So that's the only problem I have with brass ball valves. Okay, so this is a PVC valve that we have replaced the brass ball valve. When the handles were rusting and in the cold, they'd bust out the side. I said, well, let's try something different. So I bought these PVC valves. This is like a 3/4 inch valve. It's threaded on both sides. You thread it onto the pipe at the bottom. This little fitting, and I'll show you a picture of it later, is a connection. It's got hose threads on one end, PVC size threads on the other. I don't know the proper term, but anyway, I'll show you in a little while. So this is what I tried. Just so happened I didn't know when I took this picture. I didn't pay attention, but if you look right down here, that looks very similar to that. That's the problem with PVC. The handles break. So you go and you think you fixed one problem, but you just create another one. I don't know the perfect solution. If anybody knows one, man, I'll listen. I keep trying. We may never be able to make them perfect. Maybe we just make them last a little longer and don't have to change as often. Okay, this is one of those PVC ball valves that I tried to do separate. Like I said, it's threaded on this end. I took a very bad picture. This is too zoomed in, but I'll show you. So it goes like that, and then this other piece threads into that, and that's the customer's connection. So this is what that fitting looks like out. So I used to have like that ball valve there, the one I just showed. I had them ready to just replace real quick. So I'd just have to go and just unscrew the old thing, put some more Teflon tape on it, screw it right back on, and I didn't have, my downtime was very short. I was ready to make that change. So when something went bad, I would remove this fitting, because they're like, I don't know, I think they're like $5 a piece or something. They're not cheap, but it's threaded for the PVC on one side, and this one's used. That's why that I hadn't taken the old Teflon tape off. But and this is where your garden hose connection goes on. So you can take a socket and just stick on there and just screw another one in and out. And I have, like I said, I've changed my thinking right now. Normally this would be I'd already have it ready for the next problem, but I'm going to the spigot and seeing how that works. So it's just sitting there in case I have to go back to that plan. So I bought these. This is the new attempt. So I bought these brass spigots that are, will go inside the PVC. So that's the same thread. Yeah, right here. This is the same thread to go into the PVC ball valve. So you unscrew that fitting I just had, Teflon tape those threads, screw it right back in, and you're good. We'll see. So anyway, that's that. I have these spread throughout the campground. That's a shut-off for each, say, row, like we were talking about on the last video where I said, I can shut off different lines as it comes across the road. That's what that is. That's a PVC ball valve down in the ground you could use PVC, and that's maybe what this is PVC. I don't even remember what kind of pipe this is, but it's big enough, it's cut big enough to be about, whatever depth you put your water line at. And you could probably wouldn't hurt to notch, say if this is on, so I'm assuming the pipe is running this way, notch this side and this side so it's not sitting right down on top of your line. I have had somebody drive over, in fact, I think it was this one, park on top of it. It was way off the road and they parked on it, and so it broke my water line down there. People are just, they don't think. Anyway, so, and I've made I didn't make a picture of this, but I've made my own personal water shut off. So you say that's a 4-inch piece of pipe here. If you get like a 1.5 inch PVC and notch it at the bottom so it'll fit over these ears, you can slide it down from the top and turn this on and off. You don't have to have a special tool. That's what it is, but it's not, I didn't pay anything for it much. It's a little scrap piece of PVC. So you can shut your water on and off using that. Okay, so this last picture is a water spigot at our dump station, which we do not let people use. Our dump station is hooked to our sewer, and I don't want, if you're not going to stay with me, then I don't want your poop. Sorry. There's people out there that'll, want to stay, want to boondock and all those things, and that's great. That's your prerogative, but you need to find somewhere else to get rid of it. I don't want it. So that's just how we handle it. That's the prerogative of owning your own campground. You can make your own rules, and we just decided that if you want to stay with us, fine. But if you don't expect me to get rid of your waste. Anyway, so back to these type of nozzles. Okay, so when you open the handle, water flows, you close the handle, it shuts it off below ground, and the water drains out of that pipe. So it's basically winterized to a point, depending on where you are. So that sounds great, except if you have to use it in the winter. So if you have a customer there and they have to have water, either they have to shut it off and on every time they need water and only leave it on for so long so that it doesn't freeze, or you have to somehow heat that pipe and that nozzle, or somehow insulate all that enough where it doesn't get that cold. So there's not really a good way that I can think of to make that happen. I'm either running heat tape everywhere and drop cords and whatever else I have to do, or maybe you can put a trash can over it that's got some insulation in it, spray foam or something somehow, and have a hole for their hose to come in. That's the only way I can think of doing it. Just doesn't seem practical to me. So we don't use those. That one there is just, we use it to fill up our like our sprayers and that kind of thing, water and plants, that kind of deal. But other than that, it doesn't get used. So that's all the slides for today. I hope you enjoyed this. If you have any questions, put them in the comments. You may be the next starter of a video. You know, your question may make me make another one. I'm going to keep going. I don't know what I'm going to do next. I don't think that far in advance. But anyway, thanks for watching, and have a good day.